This is the news on top of the hour.
Live from our studio in Georgetown.
Kaieteur Radio, 99.1 FM.
Good day, welcome to your news at noon on Kaieteur Radio. I'm Kevin Smith. Let's get to the news in detail. Leader of the opposition, Aubrey Norton, has warned that the PPP must not be allowed to enter into an agreement with ExxonMobil for the gas-to-energy project without the nation first seeing an updated feasibility study and the deal to which the country will be accepting. Norton believes that if the administration is true to its mantra of transparency and accountability, then it would ensure that the relevant documents are made public. Moreover, he explained that the PPPC government holds a very quote-unquote unpleasant history where project management is concerned. The opposition leader argued that the incumbent administration has an arbitrary attitude when it comes to projects. However, in the absence of requisite studies, Guyanese would be left without any safeguards to protect their resources. And designed to reduce traffic congestion along the west bank and west coast of Demerara, contracts from a new 4-lane highway from Schooner to Crane was signed on Wednesday by the Ministry of Housing and Water, Central Housing and Planning Authority. The duration for this project is 15 months and works will begin shortly. This new highway is expected to be completed ahead of the new Demerara River Bridge. Works for that project will start later in the year, the government has said. In order to put an end to a multi-million US dollar lawsuit with accrued interests brought against them by 4 major oil companies, Nigeria's state-owned oil company was forced to sign a contract extending the production sharing agreement for the firms to pump more oil. Earlier this year, American oil giant ExxonMobil, Royal Dutch Shell plc, Chevron Corporation, and Equinor had approached a United States court seeking to enforce 2 separate multi-billion-dollar arbitration awards against Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation. Exxon and Shell had been seeking to enforce a $1.8 billion US arbitration award against Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation from 2011, while Chevron and Equinor sought to enforce a $995 million US award from 2015. However, the awards have grown in size and were recently worth close to $4 billion US. And moving on, a 4-year-old boy, Kemal Ramsamy, was on Tuesday reportedly found dead in a locked car at Madia, Region 8. The lad was reportedly found motionless in an old car sometime after 10 hours after his mother and other relatives realized he was not home. It is unclear what might have led to the child's death, but police have launched an investigation. The car is located close to his home and the windows were up. It is being assumed that the child might have stepped out of his house and went into the car to play, but accidentally locked himself and suffocated. And moving on, the APNU-AFC opposition does not believe that the Natural Resource Fund will be devoid of theft and corruption and is insisting that an independent investigation be conducted into the damning allegations made by Vice President Barrett Jagdeo in a Vice News documentary. The coalition's call for an independent probe hinges on the fact that Jagdeo has been managing the country's multi-billion US oil and gas sector. This view was shared by Economic and Youth Policy Advisor at Office of the Leader of the Opposition, Elson Lowe. The opposition believes that members of the recently appointed NRF board, as well as the Public Accountability and Oversight Committee and an Investment Committee, must file asset declarations to the Integrity Commission, and failure to comply with this requirement should result in that member being removed from the respective body. Just before we head to a short break, let's tell that President Ali on Wednesday told reporters that he would be urging the Guyana Police Force to release the Regional Security System's findings once it has completed reviewing the murder case of Ricardo Fagundes, better known as Paper Shorts, and probing allegations made in a cover-up by Detective Sergeant Dion Bascom. The police force was silent for months about progress in the investigation into the murder of Fagundes until Bascom came forward with its allegations. Fagundes was gunned down in March of 2021, just moments after stepping out of the Palm Court nightclub on Main Street, Georgetown. The Guyana Police Force, however, was forced to break its silence about the investigation after Bascom, a detective who initially had been part of the probe, publicly accused his superiors at the force's Criminal Investigation Department of taking a bribe to cover up the case. You're listening to Kaieteur Radio 99.1 and 99.5 FM. The time is now 12 hours 5 in Guyana. We'll take a short break and return with your news.
Not a single bar of service.
Not with us. Digicel officially has the best mobile coverage in Guyana. Be it in Aishalton or in Etteringban, we got you covered. Digicel, better together.
This is GHK Lal inviting you to join me weekdays from Monday to Friday on the National Outlook for commentary on a range of issues. Immediately after the 12 noon and 7 p.m. newscasts on Kaieteur Radio at 99.1 FM and 99.5 FM. Looking forward to you sharing in the conversation.
Welcome back. Let's continue with the news. The Toyota Carina 192 car that was stolen on Monday from in front of a house at Paradise on the east coast of Demerara has been recovered. The stolen car was reportedly found on Wednesday with only its battery missing and parked in a Fine Cross street located at the back of Seafield Sophia, Georgetown. The owner of the vehicle, Everton Blackman, a security officer, said that should be security officer related rather, that he is grateful his car was found intact and without any other parts missing besides the battery. He remembered reading a media report of several car shells found in the backlands along the Linden-Soesdijk Highway. And former Finance Minister Winston Jordan has bemoaned the lack of critical information about the workings of the oil and gas sector here, criticizing the current government for hiding key documents and contracts from citizens. Jordan is among the long list of stakeholders questioning President Ali's government's commitment toward the education and genuine involvement of the citizens in the oil sector. He said this is so given the limited public engagement and availability of information necessary to wake up Guyanese to the lucrative energy sector. And President Ali is still to decide on whether he will nominate Chief Justice Roxanne George Wiltshire and Acting Chancellor of the Judiciary, Yonette Cummings Edwards, to the substantive holder of the two top judicial offices. The Constitution mandates consultation and agreement between the President and the Leader of the Opposition on the two top judicial posts. Opposition Leader Aubrey Norton has already indicated his full support for the two judges acting in the positions to be confirmed. The opposition leader has written a letter to the President indicating his position. However, so far, President Ali has put the confirmation for the top judicial post on hold. And with no patient admitted into the COVID-19 ICU, the Ministry of Health revealed on Wednesday that within the last 24-hour period, a total of 90 new cases were recorded in the country, bringing the total number of confirmed cases to 71,133. And at this time, we wrap things up as usual with the page 7 of today's Kaieteur News, dedicated to being blunt. Transparency in government. Civil society activists and even ordinary citizens continue to bemoan the dearth of information on almost everything in this green land of Guyana, from the oil and gas sector to even the little pittance of a cash grant they give out. This behavior, coming from a government that likes to talk about transparency, is nothing but a slap in the face of Guyanese. We are hastening on with a gas-to-energy project, and basic information about the feasibility of this venture citizens are not privy to. President Irfan Ali, time and time again, has exclaimed that transparency exists and that his government is transparent. When the leader pronounces sharply about transparency, it is clear that what he engages in is nothing but the self-satisfying via self-advertisement. To even an indifferent listener, he comes across as someone who lacks the required enlightenment as to the real meaning of what genuine transparency encircles at its depths. If the president were an accountant, he would risk being banned for life. Nothing adds up, and his words fail to reconcile with reality. And that brings us to the end of today's News at Noon. I'm Kevin Smith. Thank you for listening.
Want value for your advertising dollar? Then place your ads on Kaieteur Radio's newscasts. Streamed live on 6 different mediums, reaching hundreds of thousands. Advertise today and watch your dollar grow. Call us on 225-8465 or 226-8210 today.